So today I thought I'd do another Riley Dennis video, but I was going to use an older video of his because he looks quite a bit different in this one.
Yes. Shoot. You play video games? And you're a girl?
Yeah, he does look a bit different there, doesn't he? But yeah, he's going to be talking about computer games and geek culture. You alright there, Justin? Putting the kettle on. Justin, you're on your fucking game. Come on. Do you want a coffee or not?
Hey humans, so I've got a problem. I'm a really huge nerd, but I'm also a really huge feminist.
Look, mate, what have I told you about staying away from those feminists? Nothing good will come of it, you know.
Now I know that doesn't sound like a problem. I mean, after all, they're completely unrelated things. One's about enjoying certain video games and movies and TV shows, and the other one is about creating equality and acceptance for all kinds of people. But unfortunately, there's been this string of anti-feminist thought going on in nerd culture, and I've tried to avoid it for a long time, but now I think it's just time I confront it head on.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
So look, if you're a nerd, I'm not calling you an asshole or a misogynist or anything like that, okay?
Aw, Riley, you're letting us down. We all know nerds are misogynistic pieces of shit.
I'm not here to attack you and tear you down. But if you're already discrediting my opinion because I said I'm a feminist, then we need to have this talk. Because I love nerd culture. I love that there are passionate people that can unite together around a shared love for certain things.
To be honest, mate, I discredited your opinion as soon as I clapped my fucking eyes on you. You didn't even have to open your mouth and tell me you was a feminist. Which I could have guessed with that fucking ukulele leaning against the wall. What is it with you lot and fucking ukuleles, for fuck's sake? Get a guitar!
I love smashing. I mean, playing Super Smash Bros. For hours with my friends. I used to play Halo and Call of Duty all the time. I still geek out over Harry Potter on a daily basis. And there have definitely been times where I just watched anime all night for hours and hours on end. And nerd culture is a huge, complex thing that can never be boiled down to one person or one train of thought.
Jesus, how nerds have changed over the fucking years. In my day, nerds used to go around writing down train fucking numbers, good at maths, getting molested by their uncle and things like that.
But it does tend to be mostly straight cisgender men. Even if it's by accident, nerd culture does manage to exclude women and LGBTQ plus people in a bunch of different ways. And that sucks because nerd culture is supposed to be the culture of the neglected. It's supposed to be the culture of the people who were never popular in high school or who didn't have a lot of friends or who were bullied for one reason or another.
And now we know why you wanted to join. You saw a couple of nerds getting beaten up and thought, I want in on that.
As a culture basically founded on being outcasts, I think it's absolutely necessary that we are as open and accepting as possible. Otherwise, nerd culture becomes just as mean and elitist as the people who bullied us in high school.
As soon as the LGBTQ join anything, you know it's time to pack your bags and fuck off, because they fucking ruin everything. Just like they did the atheist movement with the atheist plus shit, because all they did was talk about fucking women's issues as soon as they fucking joined. I'd have fucking booted them out, mate. I'd have booted the fucking lot of them out.
If you consider yourself a nerd, all I'm asking is that you hear me out and listen with an open mind and try to imagine what it would be like if you were a woman or a part of the LGBTQ plus community. So here it is, 5 ways you can help nerd culture become more inclusive. Number 1, don't act like it's a miracle if a woman or a girl likes video games or other nerdy things. I know that my skit in the beginning of the video was a little exaggerated, but just a little bit. I've actually seen people act that surprised when they find out that a woman likes video games or Star Wars or anything like that.
Yes, I know women like Star Wars, and definitely computer games, because I've seen Anita Sarkeesian playing them. I think she thinks you get points for seeing Batman's ass or something, but that's not how you play that game.
Because nerd women have been around for as long as nerd men have been around. They've just been ignored and shoved to the sidelines because of some very systematic misogyny. The gaming industry and other parts of nerd culture have by and large been run by and for men. And when you act surprised that a woman likes something nerdy, you're insinuating, whether intentional or not, that it's unusual or weird for her to like that. The only thing weird about this whole situation is that nerd men have been pretending that nerd women haven't existed for such a long time.
You talk absolute shit, Riley. You never watched Scooby-Doo? That fat one with the glasses. I bet she's LGBTQ, and she's a fucking nerd.
Number 2, don't force people to prove that they like something. So you meet a woman and she says that she likes Star Wars, and you manage to play it cool and you don't act surprised, but you don't really believe her. So you ask her questions like these. Who's Chewbacca's grandfather? Which hand does Luke Skywalker have cut off? What color is Yoda's lightsaber? But all of these questions are really just part of a test to find out if she's really nerdy or not.
Hang on, let me just write that down. I'll shorthand it a bit. Listen and believe.
But men aren't subjected to tests like this. If you're a guy and you say that you like Star Wars, people just believe you.
Yeah, they're not really going to talk about it, are they? They're just going to say, do you watch Star Wars? Yeah, I watch Star Wars. Is that it then? Yeah, see you later.
If someone says that they like something, just let them like it. They don't have to be an expert with every single detail memorized. Number 3, advocate for more diverse characters in video games, TVs, movies, and books. Even though I love all different kinds of media, there's a problem with most of it. It's a lot of straight, white, cisgender men. Video games largely feature playable male characters with over-sexualized female characters. Movies like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings have almost no women at all.
Yeah, but you talk about Lord of the Rings, but it did go a bit heavy on gay wizards.
People need to see themselves represented in our media. It inspires people and it sets the status quo for what's normal.
Yeah, and people can create their own fucking artwork how they want to, mate.
Number 4, be wary of the language that you use. Have you ever been on Xbox Live? It's like the comment section of the gaming community, just horrible slurs and terrible things that you never want to hear all in one place. I had to quit that thing back in high school. But certain words and slurs genuinely hurt people and make them not want to be a part of the community. For example, if you use rape as a synonym for destroying something, you can cause PTSD flashbacks for rape survivors. If we want nerd culture to be one of acceptance, we have to be willing to change some of the words that we use to make people feel more welcome.
Glad I'm on PlayStation so I don't have to put up with a fucking mug like you.
Welcome to Marathon. May I help you?
Yes.
How may I help you?
You can start by wiping that fucking dumbass smile off your rosy fucking cheeks.
I think a lot of people have this mentality that you can choose what words offend you and that people who are hurt by words are just being too sensitive. But that's a really damaging way of looking at it. Words have a lot of power because they have historical and cultural significance, but also a lot of times people associate certain words with traumatic events in their lives. Brushing off this whole argument by saying that people are too sensitive really makes nerd culture a place where only people who haven't been traumatized by particular slurs are allowed to be.
Yeah, we'll all change for Riley Dennis because he can't handle a few fucking words.
Throwing threats and insults around doesn't do anything to help your cause. In fact, it only proves why women and LGBTQ+ people don't feel safe in nerd culture. Alright, well that is everything I have for you today. This video is a part of a series I'm doing for Everyday Feminism, a website dedicated to helping you stand up to and break down everyday oppression.
Well, I'm not going to join Nerd Culture Plus, so that's the end of this video. I'll catch you all later. Bye!